Welcome into another excellent episode of the Dynasty Brews podcast. As you can see, our guest
Are we
is already
live?
getting his brew on right now. He's getting them burps on too.
Because I got a bone to pick with you already. If we live, that little intro that I just watched gave me a super. Hold on, timeout. It said approved for all audiences, and I don't think it is. So before, can I say bad words on here? Can I talk
Yes,
about?
yes. It is 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast and 9 o'clock Central Time. You could say bad words. Comedy Central's turning on right now.
Intro gave me a total hard on, and I don't know who did it. Did you do it? Did you do it?
Yeah, that's my work. That's my work.
Oh, come here, let me suck your dick. That was rad. I liked it a lot. I did.
Hey, welcome in to the Dynasty Brews podcast. Everybody grab a beer, whatever you got, knuckles, whatever.
Water.
Cheers, everybody. It's good to see you guys. If you don't know, this is the TSF crew. That is True Serum Football. We have Travis Sumner to my left, to my right, whatever it looks like, and below the man who just offered to suck my dick, Joey Football.
I was right on it, wasn't I?
To be fair, guys, I said explicitly no nudity on this show, and they are following the rules. So, a round of applause, guys. Round of applause.
I was about to go too.
And the rules have been broken once again. But like I said, it is 10 o'clock at night. Guys, thank you for being in. We are here to talk roster rebounds. Obviously, there's nothing really noteworthy news-wise in the NFL. But I brought these two guys in because they won. When I approached them about it, they said, roster rebounds? I don't have bad rosters. And I was just like, whoa, I need to get on these guys' game over here. I'm over here with these like sometimes shitty rosters, got to rebuild and everything. So I thought these were the perfect two guys to bring on because they know what they're talking about when it comes to roster building. Guys, just tell me how you're approaching this season right now, and tell me how you're feeling being on this show right now. Travis, let's bump it up to you real quick.
I'm feeling fucking great being on this show. This is some badass shit. For real. Like I've been watching the show for like 2 or 3 months now, and like I've just been kind of invested into it.
Can you hear him?
And can you hear me?
Can you hear anything he's saying? Because I can't.
I'm not ear fucking you. Can you hear me now?
Now I can't.
Anyway, I'm fucking glad to be here. This is fucking great. This is the first time I've ever gotten to talk to Justin live. I've been socially interacting with him for the last year and a half, and it's pretty fucking cool to be able to meet you.
Yeah, man, and we've known each other through certain circles. Like I ran with TSF a little bit, and obviously you've ran with Belly Up a little bit. So it is kind of funny that we've never actually met face to face or even through a video conference, and it is very exciting. I was very excited to get you on because I've been wanting to meet you and talk with you guys for a long time. Joey, you offered to suck my dick, but please tell the fans how you doing. What's up? How are you feeling on this 10 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock your time on the Dynasty Brews podcast?
I am doing fantastic, and I'm glad you brought me here to tell you that. I don't know what my strategy is for this season. You was asking what my strategy is. I don't know yet. It's June. It's May still, isn't it? Hold on.
Yeah, it's May.
It's May. We got a lot of learning to still do. I'm learning constantly. You're learning constantly. You're learning constantly. But I want to be ahead of that. That's my goal, is to be ahead, and that way I can give you guys the knowledge that I receive. But right now, I'm just riding the roller coaster of this crazy ass off season. This is my first time being on a video or talking to anyone about anything football, really, besides shooting the shit on the phone. But right now, man, I'm just riding the roller coaster. It's been a crazy ass off season. I'm loving it. I haven't started anybody out or anything. I might need to take a TT break in between here, but I'm happy to be here, man. I'm glad to meet you as well. So I'm ready to answer some questions.
We'll get to them. I got a couple questions for you right now. You guys, are you guys in any drafts right now? Are you doing any rookie drafts? Are you doing any startups right now? It's starting to become that season. People are starting to go on best ball, on underdog, but there's always like that kind of that wave in the camp when you have injuries and guys you've already selected, that you go down. When do you guys start to really ramp up your drafting?
August, man. Preseason. Once the preseason kicks off, I'm so eager to get into it. But recently, we had a little party. We call it the Mixer. We do a yearly. Sometimes we push it 8 months, and we end up having 2 in 1 year. But we do a Mixer where a lot of our crew from TSF, we all meet up in one location. We had a blast in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I went to my first basketball game. It was a playoff game. We had a draft there at that party. I keep saying parties. It was a big party, right?
Family reunion. Family reunion.
But we had a draft. Travis had his little board, magnets, and we just kind of went up there and looked through and picked players. But we did a startup dynasty, and it's a super flex, and I wasn't really happy with my team because honestly, I like to ride the wave of the off season, and I ain't studied shit yet really up to that point, so I wasn't really happy with my draft. I didn't even know we were having rookies in that draft, so I think Breece Hall went in like the 3rd round, which is absurd, and it kind of upset me. So, hey man, I'm here ready to go. This is the shit that gets me going. So right now, from this point forward, I'm all yours, baby.
Travis, what do you think about drafting early? Are you an early drafter, or are you somebody who drafts progressively throughout the year, or do you wait till the end?
I am fucking 365, baby, all year fucking round, fucking talking the shit, sending the trades. We fucking doing the shit. Goddamn, I'm in the middle of a rookie draft right now.
Just mocking him.
I'm in the middle of a rookie draft right now. 109. I took Christian Watson, and I followed that back. And I had the 201 and the 202, and then I traded that back. Got an extra 3rd round pick for next year, and then I got the 202 and 203 now. So I picked up Dameon Pierce and Isaiah Spiller there, doubled the backs, and I might try to get back in the draft here and just take White here and see if I can't just double down on these backs or triple down on these backs. If one of them hits, come on, the odds of one of those 3 guys hitting has to be pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah, and you got to love that Dameon Pierce is walking right into an old head saloon over there in Houston. I mean, who's he really got to challenge him? Marlon, my Achilles hurts, Mac, Rex, sexy Rexy Burkhead, the bald-headed wonder, the man who seems to make 35 look like 25.
Hey, don't talk about Rexy like that. I'm going to tell you something right now. You ask Mr. Mike Brown about Rexy, sexy Rexy, or whatever you want to call him. That man will put out like none other 1 game out of the year. Every fucking year. It fucking hits. Every goddamn time.
I think he put out like 2 or 3 this year. I had him on my bench for a couple seasons, and it paid off this past season. So I was just like, oh, my God. Like, I'm running into the playoffs because sexy Rexy went off. Yeah, no. I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the Chargers game that he went off for like 3 touchdowns.
Yep. The Patriots game he ran for 2 touchdowns as well. Yeah, I think a little bit over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. Because I remember because I was sitting I was at the Minnesota game and I was sitting up on the scoreboard. I won't forget that.
Hey, Jordan Thomas, I see you watching us, baby. Is this video circulating yet? If not, drop that shit in.
Oh, I got that shit everywhere. It's on everywhere, man. I already took care of all that, baby.
Hey, when you roll with the crew's got your back. I love it. Well, guys, we're going to get into it because this is a roster rebound episode. We're going to be talking about our worst rosters, and we're going to be giving advice. We can shit on our teams. We can defend our teams. We can do whatever. We're just going to be giving advice on how we can fix these teams, how we can go from worst or whatever it is, second worst to first. So I'm going to put it up right now. I believe this first one was Travis's. So it looks like we got Deshaun Watson, Javonte Williams, Rashad Penny, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devonta Smith, Freiermuth, Bateman, Uzama. Is that Uzama? Uzama, yeah. And Carr as your starters.
Yep.
And then you've got Garoppolo, Brissett, Mac Jones.
Who?
Marlon.
Big Mac Jones.
Who?
Gus Edwards, Hilliard. Is that Darrell Williams? Benny Snell.
Oh, of course I own that motherfucker in every dynasty I'm in.
Man, your bench is like getting old by the second, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of like I would say my like real specialty really is like taking orphan teams over, right? And like making the most out of them. And that's kind of what I did here with this team last year. It was an orphan team that was invited to me by a fantasy clinic. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He brought me into this league as an invite in another dynasty league that I was in with him. I took this team over. They had already drafted their rookie draft. The guy traded the 102 for Deshaun Watson and another first. I took over this team. It had Christian McCaffrey on it as well in the beginning. And I traded Christian McCaffrey. And I you got to hear this. This motherfucking thing is fucking great here. Christian McCaffrey, right? I traded him. Let's see. It was him and Myles Gaskin, a second and a third, for 2 firsts, Kareem Hunt, and Cam Akers.
Wow. Yeah, that's some nice return right there. You guys.
I'm not done yet. Oh, I turned around and turned Cam Akers and my own first because assuming it was going to be a top 3 pick, which it ended up being the 3rd pick in the draft. I traded that for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a third, a second, a third, a fourth, and a second. Because that was when Cam Akers pre-injury was
in a league that's cool. Yeah, cool. I don't get those kind of trades in my leagues.
That was when Cam Akers was his actual
that's my league. So hey, congrats to you, man.
That was when he was at that peak value, kind of like where Javonte Williams was like a couple weeks ago before Melvin Gordon re-signed, where everybody would pay about anything to get him. And that's when I got him. And it was during the rookie draft that I made that trade. So,
and that was last year you made that trade. So what you did is you made it off of Cam Akers' 4-game spread where he looked inhuman, where he looked like he was a monster coming off that final 4 games in the regular season and going into the playoffs. Very smart move there. In hindsight, it looks like it actually worked out super well for you because I'm imagining you turned that one of those picks into Javonte Williams, maybe one into Bateman. Did you use a second on Freiermuth?
So second on Freiermuth. I could go back and look too, but I mean, just BSing through it really. Williams, Smith, I think I took because it was like he had literally like the 6, 7, 8, 9 picks in that draft or something. I took 3. I ended up taking 3 of the picks from him, and I ended up getting Williams. It was Devonta Smith, and I think Bateman I got with like the 110 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of your picks or a lot of your players were last year's players, which was actually a really good draft to take players from. You know, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown there, Devonta Smith, Freiermuth, Bateman. You got Mac Jones. So you've got a lot of consistency at some good spots. What's something you're looking forward to? It looks like you haven't drafted this year. What's something you're looking forward to drafting this year? Are you looking forward to trading that pick away to get more picks, maybe into a more fruitful first round, say maybe next year, or are you looking to actually use those picks to pick somebody up?
So one of the problems, and I'm pretty sure you've been running into the same problem, is one of the problems is trying to trade a 23, anything past the 106, I would say, is probably damn near impossible to get somebody to bite on a 2023 first. Yeah, I mean, I tried to get rid of that 110, but this is actually the draft I was talking about earlier where I said I was drafting in a draft, and I took Christian Watson at the 110 and those two running backs. So still got some work to do here. I'm trying to build through. I have the 2 firsts next year, so I feel like as of next year, with that extra second, I feel like I could really be competing next year.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 first rounds going into next year. And, obviously next year's draft is supposed to be absolutely loaded. I mean, you got Bijan Robinson coming out. You got Gibbs coming out. You got all these talented guys that could shore up your running back crew. That's the one thing I look at this roster right now, and the one thing it's shaky to me. Javonte Williams, like you said, Melvin Gordon's coming back, and Rashad Penny now with Kenneth Walker there. Rashad Penny has a history of injuries, and he's on a 1-year deal, so it kind of, it looks like maybe it's a prove-it deal at this point. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe
what's gonna stop the Seahawks from absolutely running him into the ground this year?
Nothing.
Just like the 49ers.
Yep. I mean, they're going to run him until he gets hurt. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. And you're going to enjoy every week that he goes for over 140 yards.
Yep. I mean, he was the number 2 running back for the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season last year, right? He won a lot of people championships.
I'm pretty sure he was the number 1 running back over the last 4 weeks. Could be wrong, but he won some championships for some people.
It was either 1 or 2, yeah. He was up there.
Yeah, he beasted out pretty hard. Had some really good games for them. Had a couple of games of over 130 yards and multiple touchdowns. So definitely he's a pickup that, even in startup drafts now is kind of going on the wayside just because people think Kenneth Walker is going to be the next big thing. If you can find this guy in the past 11th round and Rashad Penny's looking you there, why wouldn't you go grab him? He's technically right now a starting running back.
He's going to give you some games with some value, especially in the first half of the season. So absolutely a great guy to have. And if he works on that prove it deal and he's proving it, maybe that's when you ship him off. It's a 1-year deal, like you said. So you could maybe work that with one of these late first that you assume might be a late first after 4 or 5 weeks. And you can go get you a 2023 first. Right now, this roster isn't competing in my eyes, which you haven't drafted the rookies yet. So you got a lot of very, very mediocre depth on here, and you could piece some things together and really work this. Like you said, Darrell Williams might prove some value for you. There's a lot of mediocre pieces on here, and it's not very top heavy. I love top heavy. I'm a stars and scrubs kind of guy, so I could work with this. I wouldn't want to, but I could.
So kind of going off of what Joey's saying, what's stopping you from doing maybe deals for some of the more popular guys in the community right now? It's say Derek Carr or Rashad Bateman. Obviously being a super flex, quarterbacks are very important. Derek Carr has got a lot of steam behind him now with Devontae Adams there. Are you thinking about maybe shipping off one of these guys that maybe has a little bit more buzz to kind of get some more talent and or get you more picks in a more talent-rich draft?
Derek Carr, I mean, I've thrown out there, but I think people are still kind of, shaky against Derek Carr in a lot of ways. Deshaun Watson, people are still worried that he's going to be suspended. So everything that you're getting for Deshaun Watson is still low ball offers for right now until we find out more, clearly what's going to happen with that. I mean, there's not really there. I kind of some of my rebuilds, I'll sit there and I will approach it to where I go more in, more in, more in. Like I could have approached this one when I traded all those picks, and I could have traded for more veteran players to try to win now. But this is actually one where I'm like taking my time with and made it into a 2-year project. And this is where I'm kind of projecting forward to be a competitive team. I feel like I could get near the 500 level. The rosters ain't too deep where I could still get players off waivers in this league. And what I'm very good at is like finding those gems and finding those players and stacking them on my team and saving them. And what happens is that I end up at like a 500 record because of it, because I'm just a total fucking grinder when it comes to that shit.
So this actually brings up my next question. Taxi squads are very important in these types of dynasty deep leagues. Are you thinking about cutting anybody from your taxi squad and maybe adding somebody this year that will slip? You know, a couple names come to mind: Snoop Connor, Danny Gray. You know, a couple guys that could fall out of the 4-round drafts, and you know that's what taxi squad's all about, right there. Going out and getting these unrestricted free agents from your draft and bringing them on, letting them sit for a little bit, and seeing what happens with them. So any consideration to dumping maybe any of your guys?
I mean, I have to definitely look through it. Like Kennedy Brooks is somebody that I'm kind of looking into right now. He's like somebody that's he was given the most guaranteed money by a rookie running back as an undrafted free agent in this class. There is a chance there that Philadelphia could use some more. You know, he could easily be right there with Kenny Gainwell in that 2 spot. Miles Sanders, I think a lot of people are kind of worried about Miles Sanders right now, and I think like there's opportunity that somebody else could take over that backfield at any given point.
Yeah, like Boston Scott.
Yeah, exactly. Boston Scott.
Another league winner right there. All right, guys. Well, we're going to finish up on this one. We're going to move on to the next one. I believe this one is Joey's. It looks like we got Kyler Murray, Joe Mixon. I believe he's already done his rookie draft. Breece Hall, Metcalf, McLaren, Irv Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Mike Williams. Is that Garrett Wilson? Yeah, it looks like Garrett Wilson. Davis Mills on his bench. He's got Teddy Bridgewater, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love went real deep on the backup quarterbacks. Desmond Ridder. You got Big Hunt right there. I like that pick right there. You got Perrine, Hillard, Johnson, Carter, Herbert. A couple of the other guys I can't read because the slide things in my face. But you got DeAndre Hopkins. That's a big one, right? And then it looks like Beckham, Tony, Gray, Everett, Knox, Parham, Komet, and Jordan. Is that all your roster?
Man, I got this driver doc that popped up in front of this shit, and I can't see nothing. Give me a second.
Oh, you're good. God.
All right. Well, close. I'm here. Yeah, so we did recently have this rookie draft. I had 3 first-round picks that I traded away. I still got, I think, 3rd or 4th place in this league last year. It was a startup last year, the year before. So I ended up moving a bunch of things, and I got those first 3 of them, and I ended up trading 2, I think the 109 and the 106. I moved up to the 101. I grabbed Breece Hall. I was really running back needy. This was a team that started out with Jonathan Taylor. I had another solid quarterback, and I don't remember. I ended up trading Justin Fields and those 2 first picks, and then I went up, got the 1. I received Davis Mills, the first overall pick. I solidified this running back. This is a team that I want to compete this year. I got a lot of good young players on here. Kadarius Toney, you never know what he could be. Just that's what I want. I want a lot of high variance, and I believe I still got some couple first rounders next year too. I got 2 of them for next year, so I'm constantly trying to rebuild. So I wait till a player pops. I'm trying to get as much value as I can out of them. I don't really see any super glaring holes in this roster, which it was hard to do because I don't keep a lot of teams. I'd like to take care of the ones that I do have. So, I went quarterback heavy in this draft. I got Desmond Ridder. I drafted Jordan Love last year. I mean, tell me what I need to do here because I got Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine. I need your help. What do I need to do? What can I do to fix anything here? There's high-end players. I love Gerald Everett. I don't know why I can't let that guy go. He's fucking shuffled around and shit. But, right now he's going to be probably most likely the number 1 tight end in San Diego, Los Angeles, whatever you want to say. Donald Parham. I got both of those guys. So I like that guy too. So I'm trying to see what's going to happen here. We don't really know. We don't know shit yet, to be honest. I don't, you don't, none of y'all do. So that's why I like the high variance players. And I'm stumped here. Like, I don't know what I can do. I've looked around for trades and it just doesn't seem like anything. I don't want to press the button to try to go for a trade because I can't make anything make sense for the other player. I don't want to insult that player. So I'm kind of excited about, all of my rosters. Now that I'm looking at it, if this is my worst team that I came up with, I'm in some deep trouble. I went and got Garrett Wilson too. He was my number 1 or number 2, probably maybe number 3 wide receiver coming out this year.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you got a good roster here, man. I would not be mad about this roster. I mean, and you got the depth at wide receiver. I mean, when DeAndre Hopkins is on your bench, I mean, obviously he's on your bench because he's suspended. But when he's on your bench, you got a deep field at wide receiver. And this is a deep league as well. We got you can see how many roster spots we got here. So when you compare this to some of the other teams, I'm gonna go for a championship, y'all. I'm gonna win this motherfucker. So I'm gonna let Travis hit this one real quick. I do have my concerns about it, but I'll let Travis go out there because I'm pretty sure it's probably the same concerns.
I mean, like the thing that just sticks out most to me, as of right now, is probably the tight end position to me. That's probably just, I don't know. But I at the same time, like, your roster is so good and heavy at wide receiver, and I played in other leagues like this where, like, I have, like, all these wide receivers, because you've seen how I drafted at the Mixer, right? And how many fucking wide receivers I took in that draft. God damn. That
How many slots
that can make. How many did I? I think we had 17, right?
17 what?
We had 17, or did we go 20 rounds? I think we might have went 20 rounds. I drafted 9 wide receivers. Let's just say that.
Okay, all right.
That's what you got to do. Like,
you drafted early, often, and throughout the entire draft, huh?
Yep, because this is one of the things is, like, for me anyway, like, when I'm starting a draft, I don't mind punting that first year, right? This is me. I don't mind punting that first year because if I can draft all these wide receivers hold longer-term value over the life of their careers than a running back where they have a short shelf life. I can draft RB2s and figure out the rest later. And by that time that I get to later, somebody needs a wide receiver. for that 102, and I end up getting a player like Najee Harris or Javonte Williams, and that carries me into a dominance for years. So that's the way I like to do it when I do a startup.
Colt says he's still going to whoop me, and we also went 20 rounds according to him. So I got Jonathan Taylor, and then I didn't touch running back for like 7 or 8 rounds, which is usually not my strategy. But the way the board kept falling to me, you just got to get the best player when you're doing a startup. That's the best advice I can give any of you is just grab the best player. And it always don't work out. You might not need that 5th wide receiver, but if he's there, grab him. Don't go chasing a 6th, 7th round running back in the 4th round because, oh shit, all the running backs are dried up. If you know they're already dried up, just let them fucking dry up, dude. Get your value where you can. You can maneuver things later, and that's what I like to do. And by grabbing all this wide receiver talent that I do have on this team right here, that allows me to move some things, and that's what I intend to do. But going back on your tight end thing, your concern is Irv Smith,
Gerald Everett,
Gerald Everett,
and Donald Parham.
You do. I didn't even see you had Knox there. That's my fault then.
I mean, Knox a bunch of guys that are streamers, and really, those are the guys that you're gonna pick up every week on a rebuild or a redraft team. Anyways, you're gonna pick up a new tight end every week. If you're doing it right, you're gonna grab Dawson Knox this week. You're gonna grab Cole Kmet next week.
Dawson Knox is somebody that came right off the waivers.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys that I can just rotate in and out. If one of these guys don't work or one of them pops, then boom, I got a solid starter for the rest of the year. We have high hopes for Irv Smith. We know that the Buffalo offense is explosive and now probably even more explosive. So I'm just going to rotate these guys in until I find the right one. And that's what you do in redraft. And that's what you got to do here in when you got a deep roster on Dynasty. If you can fill in, a bunch of tight end twos, make that your go.
Well, you talk about running backs being a well that dries up real fast. After the first 4 tight ends, oh my God, it becomes a point where are you just drafting a tight end just to draft a tight end? Because, once it hits about Dalton Schultz, the drop-off was real apparent. I mean, sure, you can get a Dallas Goedert, but like you said, what if, you have, Terry McLaurin staring you right in the face? Are you going to push up Terry McLaurin over Dallas Goedert, or are you going to, just take him? So I do like your strategy because streamers are a good position, or tight end's a good position for streamers, unless you're in a tight end premium league, right?
Right.
Because
this isn't one, but I get your point. But you never know. Every year we got a new tight end that rises into the top 10, and it happens so sporadically. We know our guys. We know George Kittle and Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. We know those guys, but after that, everyone's team. So there's only going to be 3 to 4 teams in your league, which is if you're in a 12 team league, that's what 25% of the league has that advantage. So it's not like you got a lot of people focusing on that because you can't do it. So you might have that week where you're playing against Travis Kelce. That's the week that you do have that disadvantage. But I promise you, if they got Travis Kelce, they don't have that other guy that you do have the advantage. So it's kind of which strategy do you want to take? And for me, this is the one that I like.
Yeah.
There's something too. I really like the Cole Kmet being on your bench. To me,
could pop. Every one of my tight ends could pop.
Exactly. I really like Cole Kmet this year with he's kind of got a lot of touchdown regression coming. Like he should have been somewhere around 8 or 9 touchdowns last year with the amount of catches that he had. I mean, he could be someone that really pops this year for you. That's kind of people are kind of off him right now. I mean, you could probably get him for a second-round pick.
Yeah, it's not only the amount of targets that he had, it's also where those targets are coming on the field, and they were throwing at him in the red zone. So, he's going to get 6 or 7 touchdowns this year, probably in that offense that has nothing else. They're going to be chasing points. That Bears team sucks.
Bears
suck, Travis.
I told Colt today, like there's 2 weapons. There's 2 top weapons on that team, right? It's going to be, and Cole Kmet's the number 2 weapon, right? It's going to be Mooney and Cole Kmet. They're going to be the 1-2 in that offense. I mean, you got David Montgomery, obviously, too, but those 2 are the 2 main receivers in that offense right now, right? So I really like Cole Kmet's projections to kind of take that next step up, right? Like, I really, really like that. And one of the things I really, really like about your roster, I'm just going to say, is the wide receivers like we've been talking about. And this is one thing I've said to Jordan before, like when he's been drafted or something, and I've kind of shared the sentiment with Colt, I believe. Like, if you're going to do something, like let's say somebody's going to get those top-tier tight end or they're going to get that top-tier running back or QB, be better at one position than anybody else at another, right? So you have way more variance on your team than what they have. And like I said, wide receivers, they hold for longer. Their value is going to hold. I really like the roster overall, right?
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
so we're not rebuilding this team.
Oh, hell no.
I got one question for you, though. Davis Mills as your number 2, that worries me just a little bit, just because of the volatility of him possibly not even being there next year. Right. You know, he gets a little bit of leeway this year because his team was garbage last year, and you really couldn't blame it fully on him. And he had some good games, too. I mean, not for nothing. The man had some good games. But that is kind of one of those positions, especially in Superflex, where you usually save those guys for the number 3 roster. And if they screw up and they don't make it, you can say sayonara and draft another one. So being at the number 2, that is, other than tight end, my only other worry about this roster. Otherwise, this roster is rock solid. The fact that you got Breece Hall and a first for Jonathan Taylor means that you may have just got the next Jonathan Taylor for Jonathan Taylor and a first.
All right, so I didn't get Breece Hall for Jonathan Taylor. I started this team with Jonathan Taylor because I got him in the draft that he was there. So I traded. So the Davis Mills thing, it was kind of like give something to receive something. I wanted Breece Hall because I already had Michael Carter on this team. I had to have Breece Hall. So, yeah, I traded my number 2 quarterback in a super flex, which is tough to do. Trust me. I stared at that trade. I stared at it. I tried to weasel a little bit more. I got what I could, and Davis Mills is a return that I took. I had to give a little to take a little, and right now I'm gonna float Davis Mills, and we'll see what happens with Baker, and I think Desmond Ridder he's gonna probably end up starting at some point. So that's why I drafted that extra quarterback. I wish I kind of had another second round pick in that draft to grab another one, but it is what it is. I had to take that to get Breece Hall because I know Breece Hall is going to be a fucking monster, and I got his back up. So that was just the kind of give and take I had to do. Davis Mills just wound up being the other guy. I can put after D-Hop comes back, I can put him in the super flex if I need to. I'm just so deep at that position, and we don't know what Garrett Wilson's going to be yet. We don't know what any of these guys are going to do this year, but I just had to take that because that's what I had to do with what I wanted. And I wanted Brees Hall, and I got him on my motherfucking team.
And that's an interesting take because a lot of people are afraid to lose a trade in their mind or lose the better part of a trade to get what they want. And it's like you said, like we don't know what's going to happen here, but we can hedge our bets on the horses that we think are going to win the race.
That's right.
So why not? You know, and that actually is a perfect segue into the next team because I believe that is my team, which I have taken a lot of risks on to build, and it's kind of like this really young squad. Actually, that's Justin's team. I'm going to move to my team real quick, then we'll move back to Justin's team just because the transition fits. So my team is super young, and when I look at it, I'm like, all right, I took the team that was the second worst team, and I cashed in on some pieces. I had Nick Chubb, I had Russell Wilson, I had Matthew Stafford, and I flipped them all to go younger. So I went Zach Wilson. So I traded Russell Wilson for Zach Wilson, a first, and Chase Edmonds, which I didn't think was that bad of a deal. Then I traded Nick Chubb and Matthew Stafford, and I got Trey Lance. I got Elijah Moore. Actually, no, I'm sorry, not Elijah Moore. I got Trey Lance. I got Rashad Bateman, and I got the second-round pick that I turned into Dameon Pierce. And so I've just been kind of rolling with this young squad right here that I'm just rolling the dice that hopefully all their potential hits at the same time, and I end up getting like a beast-ass squad out of this. But go ahead and shoot. Tell me how you feel about this team, Travis.
I mean, like, it's kind of the same thing with – I don't know. It's kind of the same thing with, like, Joey's team with the tight end position. Like, you're going to kind of be streaming that tight end to see what sticks and what you find, right? I really like what you have done at quarterback. I feel like Jameis Winston could be a real league winner for a lot of people. The roster, I feel like, is a good thing. I mean, there's not like a ton of depth down, that I can see. You kind of got the Jets kind of piled in here with Zach Wilson and the two receivers. But those two receivers are going to get plenty of opportunities. This team's going to be playing from behind constantly, right? And, like, this team is just full of weapons all over the field and every level of the field, everywhere. Like we talked about Brees Hall before, Michael Carter's there. We got the two receivers on Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson. Corey Davis is still there. We got the two tight ends, and what did we get? We got Conklin, and then they got Uzama. Right? There's playmakers all over the field for Zach Wilson to throw to. This is a real perfect year to him. And if he can show, this year, which I fully expect him to with all these weapons around, it's definitely like a make or break year for Zach Wilson. If not, they're going to bring the next guy in, kind of like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. This team is built to win on offensive side of the ball. They're still building on defense, right? But I feel like Robert Saleh is going to figure that part of it out.
Zach Wilson's not more than a 1 year leash here, in my opinion.
I mean, you could say that, yeah, because he was drafted as high as he was, right? But if the roster is ready to win now, you can't tell me that this team isn't going to move on from that, right?
I definitely think you both have a point. If Zach Wilson completely shits the bed with an all-star roster like Travis is saying, then it's going to be kind of one of those things where, like, what do we really have here? Like, how else can we better this? But kind of like how Joey's saying, I'm going to play, both sides here. Kind of how Joey's saying, if he makes progress, right? If he just makes progress, then he's going to be fine.
Yep.
So how I built this team is I built this team for the most promise, and that's why I picked Wilson and Lance to be my guys. I think that those two from that class have the most promise on the quarterback position. I mean, Mac Jones, obviously stability. Trevor Lawrence, he's in Jacksonville, so I don't really trust any of that offense ever. And then, obviously with San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan will figure it out. He'll figure out some way to make Lance relevant. But it's Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has the highest ceiling for any of those guys. And I kind of want to see it happen because I think this year could be absolutely huge for him. But yeah.
Here's what this team needs. This team needs an injury from Raheem Mostert, who is injury prone. It needs an injury for
Damian Harris.
Sure, Damian Harris. I love Ramondre Stevenson.
I think Ramondre Stevenson can even take over by himself without, even with Damian Harris being healthy. I feel like he's a more versatile back than Damian Harris is, right?
I think Khalil Herbert is better running back overall. And you can say what you want. Khalil Herbert is a fucking man. I think he's better than
Montgomery.
David Montgomery. I feel like he's better.
He did look good during that 4-week stretch last year. He did look better than David Montgomery on the field.
And I got him on my roster, so that tells you something. I got a bunch of guys that all it takes is an injury away, and this team can compete this year. You don't know. Like Irv Smith could break out and be the number one tight end this year. That's in his range of possibilities. So Rashad Bateman, we all probably on his nuts right now. Devontae, what's going to happen with the receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae? How do you feel that's going to play out? Because I feel like even right now, I feel like Devontae Smith he's so polished as a route runner. He's open every single time you look at him. He's wide ass open, and I get off on those types of guys. Evan Ingram and Jackson.
Yeah, you do.
The way that Jacksonville used their tight ends last year, O'Shaughnessy he started off, he was getting 8-9 targets or some shit the first couple of weeks, and they went out and traded for that shitbag guy, and they
Dan Arnold.
Dan Arnold, yeah.
Dan Arnold, mailman.
So, like, someone with Evan Ingram's talent, he didn't work out too much in New York, but there's a lot of high variance here, and you got the best tight end in this league's draft, or this year's draft. Dameon Pierce is going to walk into a heavy workload. Darrell Henderson's an injury away, an Achilles. I don't think Cam Akers looked that good last year after he came back. So, I like this roster. Trey Lance does have a higher ceiling than Zach Wilson, though, in my opinion. If they unleash this kid, the 49ers are going to be so much fun to watch. So, I like the young rosters, man. I encourage you not to keep staying young, though. That's one thing that a lot of people do is they keep valuing the youth more than current productivity, and that's something that gets a lot of people to stay in that hole, and they're constantly trying to dig out of it because of the promise. So I encourage you, Justin, to try to move some of these young pieces after a game or two, because they're not going to work out. All of them aren't going to work out. It's just not going to happen. It never does. So proven talent there's nothing better than that, man. But I see an injury or two away from you to compete this year with this rebuild roster. And yeah, it's a rebuild, but I see a lot of really exciting players on here, man. So I like the way you're doing it. What's your draft picks look like though for next year?
So I cut out the draft picks. I've actually got 2 in each round next year. So I've got 8 picks overall. I've got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Which hopefully that reels out pretty well for me because I don't have actually my first round pick. I banked it on 2 guys that I thought were going to not really do that great next year. So hopefully that works out. But I want to say this, Joey. Thank you. That warms my heart that you said Trey Lance is going to be better than Zach Wilson, because I'm a diehard 49er fan, and I love to hear that shit all day long, man.
Trey Lance, woo, I love that kid, man. I just want him to get a chance, man. I don't care if he's lay down, Ellie. I don't care if he's unpolished or not NFL ready. Give that motherfucker a rock, put him in the pistol formation, and let him play football, baby. Because that's when it happens. He is the play breaks down. I don't know, man.
He definitely has some like elite traits that you want. He's just not nearly as polished as a Mac Jones is at this point. I feel it. Well, guys, this was.
Hey, I'm gonna say one more thing too before you get off here. Fucking, I have banked a lot of stakes in Trey Lance myself, right?
Okay.
I traded Patrick Mahomes in a league for 2 firsts in Trey Lance, right? Like, this is how much I believe in this kid. Right now, I currently have him as my QB9 going into this season, so he's already in my top 10. I feel like this is going to be a fucking excellent breakout year. They got everything around him. They got everything he needs to come out and be fucking boom right away. And like Joey said, it's going to be fucking fun to watch.
I don't think that's a bold take at all, man.
You know what? It is a bold take in a lot of the community, but all 3 of us here can agree he is a top 12 QB at least. I got him at number 12. I know Joey's probably got him probably top 10 too. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him.
I don't speak for me because I ain't touched 0 ranking yet. But I will.
Top 10 on Joey's ranks.
I'm enjoying the offseason. I really am enjoying the offseason. So I'll get all that locked in, and you're going to hear my takes. I promise you.
Oh, looking forward to it. Well, guys, I wanted to leave this little bit of time just for you guys because I want to say thank you for coming on. But more importantly, I want you to promote the TSF 144 tournament. It's a great tournament. I participated last year. I fell this close. I was in the championship game, and I lost by just a certain amount of points. I can't remember. I blocked it out. But I was so close to winning that championship ring and playing in the Tournament of Champions for the signed helmet. But, guys, I'm going to let you take it away for a little bit. Just tell the fans where they can find you. Tell them about the TSF 144 and anything else you guys got working.
Go ahead, Travis. I'm going to let you start.
So TSF 144 tournament, you can find it on Facebook and our main page, True Serum Football. Just look us up there. You should be able to, kind of scroll down a little bit. You should be able to find the 144. It might even be pinned up there. It's a tournament we run every year. We talk, we interact, we have fun. We drink some beer. We talk some shit. I came close too last year. I was second place in my league too as well. But it's some good shit. It's some good time. It's a good time to interact. We got other analysts and stuff in there to kind of you're gonna have competition. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. You could probably just go into your Google search bar and type in TSF space 144 and you're going to find it that way. So I encourage you all to come check it out if you haven't. I'm going to be in it. I can't guarantee you'll be in the league with me. I hope I get to play with both of you guys. You sexy sons of bitches.
That would be overloading that league. That'd be no fair no more.
no fair to us, maybe. But yeah, you can find us True Serum Football, man. Just search it in Google. You can find us wherever we're at. We're on Twitter, Google. We're on Google. Twitter, Instagram, all of that good stuff. So if there's a social media platform out there that's relevant, we're there. So yeah, just come find us. I appreciate you helping us out, giving us on here, man. I really enjoyed talking to you, man. I hope we do this again. You sir, probably provide the stability that a guy like me, all sauced up, can't do. And it's just who I am. I'm sorry.
Hey, cheers one more time. Cheers one more time. Yeah, it's empty. It's good.
Truth's here in football, though. We drink and tell the truth about football. That's what we do. So, again, man, it was a pleasure being on here with you. Travis is always fun with you too, baby. I love you guys.
Yeah, you my boo, baby.
Well, guys,
I'll just say, stay true, baby. Stay true.
Oh yeah, stay true.
There it is. The stay true. Well, guys, once again, it was a phenomenal episode of Dynasty Brews podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for streaming us. Catch us live on Belly Up TV at 9 a.m. on Saturdays, 6 p.m. on Sundays, and we just got our new slot Mondays at noon. Catch us there. You can catch us on Twitter. You can catch us on YouTube. We haven't quite got to Facebook yet, but we'll get on it. And as always, guys, stay frosty.